Mysteriously, after a dark presence appeared in the palace of Udo, the queen fell ill and died just before her daughter's birthday. The princess has been left searching for answers, unable to ignore the feeling that something is wrong. When the king was attacked by assassins, a mysterious man saved his life, but not all the assassins were caught. And now, danger still lingers in the shadows.
In an isolated place in Udo Kingdom, the remaining assassins were gathered in a meeting with their leader. "I'm disappointed in all of you," he said angrily. They replied that it was not their fault. The king had been rescued by a strange man and a group of armed men. The man did not look like a native of the kingdom. Their leader was furious. With some of their men captured, it would not take long before their hideout was exposed. He gave 2 of his men new tasks. "This time, no mistakes," he warned. "It will be done," they replied simultaneously.
King Maduka arrived at the palace with the man who had saved him from the assassins. His son rushed out, relieved to see that his father was safe and sound. The prince looked curiously at the stranger. The king then introduced him. "This is Prince Nnamdi of Igwe Kingdom, the Kingdom of Iron." In the living room, the king warmly welcomed Prince Nnamdi to Udo Kingdom. He then asked about his father, King Anozi, the great hunter who never misses his game, a man whose courage shakes the forest and is feared by wild beasts, a legend praised by men. Prince Nnamdi was surprised that the king knew so much about his father. King Maduka smiled and explained that he and King Anozi were old friends. Many years ago, the king of Igwe Kingdom had once saved his life. The king looked at Prince Nnamdi with gratitude. And today, he said, his son has done the same. He asked the prince how he could repay him. Prince Nnamdi replied that no payment was necessary. The king then invited him to stay for dinner. At that moment, he noticed his daughter was absent. He asked one of the guards about her whereabouts and was told she had gone to a birthday party and was out with friends. The king smiled with relief. He was glad that she was beginning to live normally again, as she had rarely had a social life since her mother's death. At the hotel, Amara had invited more friends since the room was far too large for just her, Zina, and Chidera. Surprisingly, all the men wore suits because the princess was present, even though the gathering was meant to be a simple party. Amara then introduced her boyfriend, Afam. Everyone was surprised. The daughter of the Grand General of Udo Kingdom was dating a medical doctor. The party continued with laughter and conversation. Some of the guests were excited to have the chance to speak with the princess. One of them was Ben, a young man who had recently started his own business. He offered the ladies a drink, but Amara and Chidera immediately reacted. "The princess doesn't drink," they said firmly. Ben quickly apologized, not wanting to be swallowed by the fierce girls. Once their anger cooled, he spoke again. He asked the princess if she could help him with his business since she had connections with Duruba, the master of wealth and the richest man in the kingdom. Zina looked at him carefully. "Where did you hear that?" she asked. "That information isn't true." Ben looked disappointed. He had hoped that one day he might do business with Duruba through the princess. Zina watched him closely for a moment. Then she said calmly, "Tell me about your business." Meanwhile, at the palace, Prince Chinoso was showing Prince Nnamdi around. He pointed to a family photo. Nnamdi's eyes widened. He recognized a girl in the picture, the same girl who had saved him 17 years ago. He had been looking for her ever since, but never found her. "Who is she?" he asked excitedly. "She's my sister, Princess Zina," Chinoso said. "Really?" Nnamdi exclaimed, surprised and happy. At the party, Princess Zina listened as Ben told her about his business idea. "Maybe one day, Duruba would want to do business with you," she said, encouraging him. Ben thanked her. "I thought you were cold and unapproachable," he said. "I'm glad you came for your friend's birthday party. Even if you don't like birthdays, you kept your promise." The word promise made Zina pause. She remembered how her mother had promised to attend her birthday but had died the day before. She felt tired and sad. 3 years had passed and she still didn't know why her mother died. Ben noticed her mood. "Are you okay?" he asked. Zina didn't answer. She poured herself a glass of wine. "Your Highness, please, you don't drink," Ben said. "Now I do," she said, drinking it all in one gulp. Prince Nnamdi looked at the old photo for a long time. He wanted a current one. Chinonso showed him the newer pictures. "Aren't these your mom's pictures?" Nnamdi asked. "No, they are my sister's pictures," Chinonso said. Nnamdi was shocked. He noticed how much she looked like her mother. He told Chinonso to inform his father that he wanted to meet his daughter. Back at the party, Ben tried to stop Zina from drinking more, but she was already drunk. At the police station, an assassin dressed as a police officer found the cells holding his captured allies. He pulled out a gun and pointed it at them. Back at the party, Princess Zina kept asking loudly, "Why is my mom late? Someone call my mom. She's late for my birthday party." Her friends noticed she was drunk. They confronted Ben, who tried to explain that Zina drank without his help, but they didn't believe him. Meanwhile, another assassin was at the kingdom's textile warehouse. The textiles were the kingdom's most important resource. They made beautiful clothes that brought in a lot of money. The assassin planted bombs in several places. A security guard heard noises and looked around. He saw nothing and left. The assassin quietly drove a short distance away, called his boss, and pressed a button. The warehouse exploded. Back at the party, Princess Zina, drunk and tired, began to drift off to sleep. The story continues. Like the video and subscribe for the next episode.